Okay, let's talk about permutations. A permutation is an ordering of items. All right, let's suppose you have 5 pictures and you want to put them in a given order on the wall. How many different ways can you do that? Well, if you have 5 pictures, then when you go to put the first picture up, you have 5 choices. The next time you pick a picture, you only have 4 choices. The next time you only have 3 choices. The next time you want to put the picture up, you've only got 2 choices, and then finally you only have the picture that's left, the 1 choice. So in how many different ways can you arrange 5 pictures in order? Well, it's 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. An easier way to write that would be 5 factorial. This is called a permutation. It's an ordering of things. 5 factorial is really P in n, where n is 5 both times. All right? So what is 5 factorial? Well, 5 times 4 is 20. 3 times 2 is 6. 20 times 6 is 120. So there are 120 different ways you can arrange those 5 pictures. Well, let's suppose you have 5 pictures, but you only want to put up 3 out of the 5. How do you arrange 3 out of the 5 pictures? In how many different ways can that be done? Well, there's a formula for this, and it's P in M. Now the numbers are going to be different, where n factorial is on the top, but you're going to divide by n minus m factorial. N is going to be 5 this time, and m is going to be 3. And so this is going to be 5 factorial over 5 minus 3 factorial. Well, let's see what that looks like. Well, that's going to be 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 over 5 minus 3, which is 2 factorial, so that's just going to be 2 times 1. Well, these cancel, and so I have 20 times 3, which is 60. So there are only 60 ways that I can arrange 3 out of those 5 pictures. All right, well, let's suppose, one more, that we have framed colored boxes or framed colors. Okay, we'll say that we have 2 purple squares, and we'll say that we have 3 red squares, and we'll say that we have 3 blue squares, and last we'll say that we have 4 green squares. Well, in how many different ways can we arrange these colors? All right, now I can't just use one of these because these assume that everything is different. Every picture is different, every square is different. Well, here I've got 4 of the same thing here, or 3 of the same thing here, so these don't work. What does work? Well, we're going to take a formula that looks like this. N factorial over n sub 1 factorial times n sub 2 factorial times n sub 3 factorial. Well, how many of these am I going to have down here? Well, it depends on how many different groups I have. You see, I have a group of 2 that are exactly alike. So 2 is going to be n sub 1. I have a group of 3 that are exactly alike. So 3 is going to be n sub 2. I've got 4 different things, groups of things that are exactly alike that I want to arrange. So I need to put 4 of those down there. So this big N on top is the total number. Well, how many total do I have? I have 4 plus 3 plus 3, that's 10, plus 2 is 12. So I have 12 factorial on the top, and then 2 factorial on the bottom, 3 factorial on the bottom, 3 factorial on the bottom, and 4 factorial on the bottom. All right, so what does that look like? Well, that's going to be 12 times 11 times 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 over, yes, I'm writing all of those out, 2, now I'm going to leave off the times 1s. They're going to go away anyway. So 2 times 3 times 2 times 3 times 2 times 4 times 3 times 2. I'll go ahead and throw that one in there because I'm going to start canceling stuff out. This goes away. 3 times 2 is 6. It goes away. 3 times 4 is 12. That goes away. So really, the only numbers I have to multiply are 11 times 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 times 5. Now, I'm not going to multiply that all out. You can do that. It's going to be a big number. But I do want to talk about the fact that your calculator does this. If you've got a TI-83 or 84, if you go to the, if you use the, go down to the math key right underneath your green alpha key or whatever color it is, and you go to math, well, got to turn it on. All right, if you go to math, all right, and then you go over using your arrow keys to the probability section, then you'll see the second entry down is N. Now on the calculator it calls it NPR. Same thing. All right, that's just the way it's labeled on the calculator. NPR, NPM, some text use NPK, just different, but that is not as important as the fact that this is this right here. So you can use this on your calculator. You also have a factorial function in there. You can use that as well to help with the math, especially when the numbers get to be really, really large.